Right, guys, wall sharpening. This is a bit more of a positive message. There's too much shit going on in the world at the minute. Right, I run a tattoo studio, which you can see this beautiful cave of fucking loveliness. And basically, I built the business up from scratch, from nothing. I'd done a bit of tattooing when I was younger, but I worked in Ford's in Bridgend, the engine plant, which is now shut, as you guys know. Now, well, some of you may not know actually, but the Ford Bridgend engine plant was known as a job for life. Now, as good as the money was, and there were some good guys, friends for life I've met really there. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me being stuck in a fucking factory, working nights, when everybody, all my mates and I were having barbecues and they were getting on it. I was fucking leaving to go in on a night shift. So the money was great, but money's not fucking everything, is it? So there was a turning point. There was a video I watched, and I didn't realize what that turning point was up until somebody shared something a few months back. And when I watched it, I didn't realize that was what the turning point was. So I'm going to play it in a minute through you, because I think a lot of people need to listen to this, because I didn't even realize that was what changed my mindset. And that's what it's about. It's about mindset. Don't look at the path ahead. If you look at the path ahead, it's going to put you off. Because if I looked at everything that I'd had to do to build this up to get it to where it is now, I wouldn't have fucking done it, because it's a lot of work. There was a lot of hours. There was a lot of time. There was a lot of fucking... Yeah, you wouldn't do it. So basically, when I clicked on the video and I just played it, just didn't even think anything of it. When I played the video through, I suddenly perked up and I was thinking, I fucking watched this video before. And this video was what was the catalyst that changed my life. Because, if you're stuck in a job, this is the situation I was in. I had my daughter when I was about 20, 21. So I had a mortgage when I was about 20, I think it was. So when I had the mortgage, you've got the child, children, whatever situation you're in, you've got kids, you've got responsibilities. You can't just fucking swan off and jump in between jobs. You're tied to that job. So a lot of people feel like they're just trapped. You're trapped. You've been doing the job for so long, you're stuck. So they feel like they're trapped. They haven't got a way out. But there is a way out. And I'm going to play this video for you now. And then I'll explain what I did to get out. And regardless of whether Ford's was going or not, my plan was I was fucking going. Regardless, I hung on to see if it was closing. And it did close. But I would have been fucking out of there anyway. Because there's nothing worse than being stuck in a job where, you could be... You're tired, you can't get your fucking holidays when you want them. You can't get this, you can't get that. You've got the perks of the, sick pay and things like that. Holidays. But it's not for everybody. And if you've got a passion, if you've got a dream, you've got to follow your fucking dreams. Otherwise, you're going to get to an old age and you're not going to be happy. So when you follow your dreams, you follow your passions, your life will automatically become more fulfilled. So what you've got to do is you know, you're going to get people who are going to take the piss, maybe. You're going to get people who are going to say, you're fucking nuts, what the fuck are you doing? And you've got to just fuck those people off, because they're the ones who are going to hold you back from following your dreams. So you're going to get people who will try and put negative spins on what you're doing, but you've got to just put your head down and just go for it. Day by day, don't look up, don't look up, don't look back, don't look ahead. Focus on what you're doing. Chip away, chip away, chip away. In fucking 5 years' time, you will look back, or somebody will tell you something. Like my sister showed me a picture, you come a long way. And I look at it and I'm like, fucking, yeah, I have come a long way, and you haven't looked at it until the point where somebody points out to you, like, fucking hell, look how far you've come. So you've got to chip away. So I'm going to play this video.
Most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever, because it's true. You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away. But I think one of the reasons why these people have this deep-seated anger and resentment is there's a bunch of people out there that have these lives that are deeply unsatisfying, because I think there are so many people that are working all day long doing something that is deeply unsatisfying and almost painful to them.
Yeah, soul killing.
Soul killing. Yeah. They're stuck in traffic all day, and then they're stuck in a cubicle after that. They relish the time to take a shit in the bathroom and look at their phone. I mean, they literally do that. That's a highlight of someone's day. They get in traffic on the way home. They get home after that, they're watching television. I think if people have a regular day job, if you could just find one thing that you do as a passion project and just keep building on it, just keep watering it, keep adding fertilizer, keep giving it attention, keep giving it focus, and you can escape. You can escape, and you can be self-serving. You could be okay. You're gonna be okay. Look, man, making furniture feels good. If you can do that, you could cut those corners perfectly and sand everything down nice and stain it, and then it's done and you get this satisfied, and you sell it to someone and that pays your bills. That is infinitely more satisfying than being stuck in some fucking cubicle working for someone that you don't want to work for, having to have these stupid fucking office meetings, talking to people in human resources, sitting down with your supervisor where they evaluate your job performance, and you're not really, you really need to be enthusiastic about this company. This company is your future. This kind of like, you're like, kill me now. There's a lot of people out there that would way rather do something else, and I hope they understand that they can. And people that are trapped in bad situations, one of the problems is you feel like this is your future and you can't get out of that. There's no hope. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no rainbow. And if you feel like that, that alone can be incredibly defining and limiting. But if you look at yourself objectively and say, okay, I'm in credit card debt, I'm working in a shitty job, I don't like what I'm doing, but I have some ideas. I need to feed those ideas. I need to feed them and water them, and I need to set aside a certain amount of time every day to just try to make those things happen. You can do that. Everyone has a different personality. They have different interests, different things that they would be really satisfied pursuing. That's not encouraged. What's encouraged is go find a job. What's encouraged is go find some place that you can shove yourself into. Go find a square hole that you can stick your round peg and just fucking jam it in there and shave down the top and the bottom so you slide in with all this extra space on the sides and feel like shit for the rest of your life, because you need a job, because you're in debt, because you have credit cards, because you have student loans, because that's what everybody does. And so you do it too. That's what's wrong. You have an apartment you have to pay for. You have a car you leased. You have a wife that you have to feed. You have a child you have to raise. You have your mortgage. You have your this. You have your that. And that's where it all comes from. Well, the opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities. A 51-year-old father of 3, married man, pays taxes, has a house and a mortgage and a business and all that jazz. If I had to quit everything now and struggle the way I struggled as a stand-up comedian, it would never work. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation almost every time. It's hell.
But can people just make that change? I mean,
Yes,
look,
you can,
I believe they
but
can.
you have to plan it out. The way you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. And then you have to have a plan, and you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you f***ed up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. If you're going to try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have, whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it, and you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something, and to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific.
There are so many people that would be so much happier making $27,000 less a year, and the only thing they have to do is sell their current home where they only use 18% of the home anyway, and buy a home that has 2 less bedrooms so that they don't have to have the job that is paying to maintain the lifestyle that they've propped up for themselves, and their life will be like disproportionately better. Because there's a lot more people living that than what you, like, as many entrepreneurs as they are that should be employees, there's way more people that basically build a life around how much they're earning, get to a place where they hate what they're doing to earn, have the opportunity to still do something that earns $20,000 less that they love, but they're golden handcuffed by worrying about what car they drive or where their house is, because they actually care about other people's opinions, and nobody has the gear to take a step backwards. The inability to take a step back, to take 4 steps forward in happiness based on other people's opinions of watching you take a step back blows my fucking face off.
When do you quit your job and go in? When you can afford it. Happiness is so unbelievably addictive. And it makes me so sad that so many of you created golden handcuffs for yourself that aren't letting you leave your job, because you need to make $130,000 a year now because you wanted 700 more square feet in your apartment, or you wanted a BMW instead of a Toyota. And so you're not happy because you wanted 2 or 3 things that mean absolutely nothing. I promise you, when you've tasted both, when you meet people that have tasted both, I make $180,000 a year and I have stuff, but I'm not happy. And then I went making $94,000 a year, but I'm doing what I love and I'm super happy and I have a little less stuff. It's not even close to a debate. So I implore all of you to really dig deep inside of yourselves and try to figure out why you need that stuff. I'm gonna save you time. You're trying to close an insecurity gap. Let me give you another huge hint. Everybody else sucks too, so do you. If you're 21 and you have no expenses and you're living at home, you have to go high risk. As soon as you see any blood in the water, you go. If I'm 21 and I'm at home and I have no expenses and I'm making 47,000 euros, pounds, dollars, doing something I don't love, but I want to be a film person, and the first person pays me $1,500 or $1 forever, and it works, and it went well, and she, the boss of this candy store, says, I'm going to tell all my friends about you, I may jump right away. I don't have any concerns. If I'm 42 years old and I have 3 kids and a mortgage and I'm $100,000 in debt because I went to college in America and it didn't get me a good job, and I'm an accountant and I make $137,000 a year, which basically pays for my overhead, roughly, because I bought a house bigger than I needed, I bought a car bigger than I needed. This is cliche American. And somebody pays me $1,500 and they're like, I'm gonna tell all my friends, I'm gonna give up Netflix and my video games and my weekends to eventually get that to 60 or 70 or 80 or 90,000 a year before I say, okay, now I'm at 90, 137. If I actually went all in, I can close the gap on that 57,000. Now I'm gonna make the jump because I have 3 kids on mortgage and debt. Yesterday, Aaron is 25 and single and living at home. Tomorrow he meets Sheila, falls in love, and you know, a million things could happen. Sheila could be making $1 million a year. Different life.
True.
Sheila could be making no money, but he loves her so much and she wants to buy handbags every day, and now he has a bigger, financial problem. Sheila wants to be his partner. Sheila, he wants to buy handbags. It's not cliche, it's life. But you jump when you can afford to drown.
Yeah.
You jump when you can afford to drown. What I mean by that is when you jump into the pool, you have to know that you've never swam before and you might drown. And you have to be able to do that when you can. And at 21, living at home, you can.
Yeah.
Because you can go back and get a job, you have no overhead, right? But at 43 with 3 kids, you might not want to.
Yeah.
And by the way, or you might.
Yeah.
You might have such a supportive spouse. Sheila, Aaron's the stay-home dad. Sheila's making the 147. Sheila talks to Aaron and says, Aaron, I'm gonna die if I don't jump. I'm 43, and if I don't jump now, I'm gonna be 62 and regret it my whole life. So I'm gonna jump, and if I fail and the economy collapses and I can't get a job, we may have to sell this home. We may have to move in with our parents in Florida.
Yeah.
But I have to do that and take the loss in front of everybody's eyes that we're losers and we f***ed up. Because I know myself, and I know if I don't jump now, I'm gonna be miserable for 40 years that I was an accountant for my whole life. The reason I want everybody to live the way I do, which is do not care what other people think, once you go there, you're willing to jump. You're willing to drown. You're willing to move in with your 80-year-old parents and look like losers with your kids because you just don't care. The reason people aren't letting themselves get happy is because they value other people's opinions more than they value their happiness. They literally value their parents, their siblings, their best friends, and society's opinion more than their own happiness.
Yeah.
They value, you live your life that you value other people's opinions more than being happy.
So there it is. That is the video that changed everything, and I didn't even realize it. I didn't realize it until about 4 months ago. Somebody shared it on Facebook, and it felt quite emotional, to be honest with you, because I thought, I remember where I was. I was in work years ago. Fuck, it must have been about fucking 7 or 8 years ago. I was in work in Fords on a night shift, asking the same questions like one of the boys, Simon and Seymour, and it'd be the same thing. They'd come on, and they tell you exactly what I'm telling you. I'd be like, I can't fucking do this anymore, and I can't fucking do it. It was sucking the life out of me, and I was just saying, this place, I've just got to get out of this fucking place. I've got to get out of it. And my passion was always, tattooing. It was always my passion. Even when I was younger, I wanted tattoos when I was really young. And I wasn't just interested, I was always interested in art, but I was always drawn to tattoos. So, the art of the art sitting in the skin and being preserved over a lifetime just appealed to me. So what I did, I'm not telling people go and quit your fucking jobs now. Don't do that. If you've watched that video and you've taken anything from it, I worked 2 jobs for years. I had 4 men coming up to me. I'm not going to name who they are, but saying to me, why you drawing? This is your job. Why are you doing that now? I knew that wasn't my fucking job. I knew I didn't want to fucking be there anymore. I couldn't wait to get out of there. The attitudes on some of the people in that fucking place. There's a good few people there, good mates I've met there, but the overall feeling from the place wasn't good. I just wanted out of there. So it wasn't for me. It's not for everybody, is it? So it wasn't for me. So I put my head down, practiced, worked 2 jobs, built up the business, built up the clientele, built up experience into something where it's it's a self-generating income. You know, I'm doing something I enjoy. I got great customers. I got great friendships with my customers. And it's about when you're doing something that you love, you're passionate about, you're excited about doing the tattoos. And it's not just tattoos. This, carry this through into whatever your passion is. If you're obsessed with the gym, become a personal trainer, become a dietitian. There's so many different angles of things you can go into. Music, just take the jump and do it. Just do it and just chip away. Keep chipping away until you'll get to a point where you look back and you'll just think, how the fuck did I get here? And it's just through hard work, determination, and just not even believing in yourself, because I'm not even somebody who's like, I'm not a positive person about myself. But I even carry it through into the podcast, because even throughout all of that, I had the big issue with depression, which I've talked about on my podcast many times before, which really knocked me back. And I didn't think I was going to come back from that, to be honest with you. I didn't think I was going to be here full stop, let alone I wasn't even thinking about the business. But it took such an impact of like a good few months out where I couldn't do anything. I couldn't tattoo. I couldn't do anything. So I had to rebuild back from that point again to build everything back up to a point of where I didn't think I was going to get to again. So that was another setback. You're going to have these setbacks. You're going to have these things that are going to get in the way. But even when I'm talking about the podcast, something that I carried through from there, which I said from the start of the podcast, was like bringing a positive message of follow your dreams, follow your passions, and see where it takes you. See where it takes you. Because one life you get, and you don't want to get to that old age and think, oh, I could have done this and I should have done that. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I tell my fucking boss to fuck off or whatever? You've got to just go for it. You've got to go for it. And I guarantee if you're following your dreams and your passions, even if you're not earning big money, you're going to be happier. You're going to be happier. Like the guy said on there, because, Joe Rogan was the first guy, and he's a guru in himself. So if you haven't watched any of his podcasts, the Joe Rogan Experience, go and watch them, because I picked up so much positive messages from his podcast. It's unbelievable. But I'm not sure who the second guy is, to be honest with you. But like he said, if you're struggling and you've got like a 5-bedroom house or whatever, and you don't really need it, do you need that struggle if it's holding you underwater and stopping you from following a passion that you could be going for? Because eventually, once you build on that passion, you build it up to a point of where you can have that back. So I just wanted to share this message. I've shared it before. I've talked about it before, but I haven't done a video where I've actually put the video in and commented alongside the video, really. So it's I think it's a positive message. I mean, you've got to just go for it. Go for it. If you were stuck and you're thinking, oh, I can't go for it, I haven't got time. You've got time. You've got time. You've got to just put everything into that spare time and build that up. So that's the message. That's the message that I wanted to give, really. So take that on board, guys. Take it on board. And if you're not happy with what's going on in your life at the minute, and you're not happy with where you work, and you really are getting into a depressed state and feeling you're trapped, you're not trapped. You're not trapped. You can get out of it. I know it's a difficult time at the minute with everything going on, but hopefully this will pass. And I want to see everybody everybody achieving their dreams, achieving their goals. You want to see everybody being happy. You know, you don't. The last thing that I've been there. Trust me, I've been there, and I thought there was no way out. Just don't look at the road ahead. Don't look back. Just put your head down and focus on what's in front of you and build on that. And I leave it at that. So this is wall sharpening, guys, and go and follow those dreams. Okay? Take it easy.